So some of us can afford to go to Disney every couple of years. Then there are those of us who just have bankrolls of money. How would they do Disney? Well, the Disney Food Blog did a video just a couple weeks ago on that very topic, and we're going to kind of react to that video, give you our thoughts on some of the things that are the higher ticket experiences at Walt Disney World. This is the Mouse and Men podcast, where we explore the grown-up side of Disney. You can find us online at themouseandmen.com. I'm Bradley. I'm here with my co-caster, Chris. As always, Chris, how you doing?
What's up, buddy? I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, I'm realizing, though, by watching this video, where the rich spend their money at Disney World, not there. There's some of these price points, but it's a lot of fun to kind of fantasize and think about being and doing some of these really exclusive opportunities, but I don't know when I'm going to afford to do most of them.
Yeah, me either, but we may have some alternatives that are, an easier price tag to swallow. So let's jump into this week's episode of The Mouse and Men. Chris, they kind of broke it down in a few different topics, and we'll just go in the same order that the video went. Starting with VIP tours. These are things that, it's what you expect. It's a tour, and there's different levels. So you've got the private VIP tour. This is up to 10 guests, so you can get a couple of families and split the cost. But you're looking at $425 to $750 per hour, and you have to rent out the tour guide for at least 7 hours. That's cool. Then you've got, you've got World of Dreams, which is up to 6 guests, but that's $12,000 for the first day, and then $10,000 for each additional day. Wild Africa Trek over in Animal Kingdom, $139 to $249 depending on season. Behind the scenes at Epcot, $29. Backstage Magic, $275. So you've got a wide range from $29 to $12,000. That's a wide range of stuff, but these are also probably the most intriguing to me. The
tours are the most intriguing out of all the topics.
The private VIP tour, you get special transportation, you get line skipping. How much is it?
Nice.
You think Genie Plus is expensive? Try the private VIP tour. World of Dreams, you get everything that the private tour does, plus food, plus you can go see Cinderella's castle suite up there. Inside Cinderella's castle, up at the very top, they built out an apartment, and you can only stay there if you're invited or win a contest. So you can't even buy that room for a night. But you can buy just seeing it on this World of Dreams tour. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to afford one of these.
And even with something like that, I remember in the video, Disney Food Blog, they were saying that you can see it and enjoy it. Just don't turn on the water in the faucets or lay in the beds or something like that. So they're with 10 or 15
don't lay in
grand.
the bed. Don't turn on the don't put water in the tubs, I think.
So even with that, there are still remember less than a year ago, there was that guy that was like, I spent all this money at Disney and you won't let me do all this kind of stuff, or it was something about putting a mask on or something. And he was really incensed because of all the money he spent. But as you see here, you can spend 12 grand and still not even get to lay in a bed. That Walt Disney may have been there.
No, you spend 12 grand and you still don't get to lay in a bed at all because you still haven't paid for it.
That's true.
Yeah, it's really crazy what what you can spend money on. And we're going to just kind of quickly outline these things, and then we'll tell you what we do. Then there's Club 33. Club 33 is a private club. I don't even know how much it is. I don't know how to even get started having that conversation, but it's a private club where you get special access to a special room, and nobody really knows what's in there unless you're a Club 33 member, maybe some cast members as well. And they're separate. So if you're Club 33 member at Disneyland, you can't get into Club 33 at Walt Disney World unless you also pony up for that. So it's separate for each park. And there's one at Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Tokyo, and Shanghai. So 4 parks have it. Then they went on to talk about different food experiences. There's Victoria and Albert's, $250 per guest, not including wine and other add-ons. It's a 3-hour, 7 or 10 course meal. It's a lot of food. Or you can pony up $350 per guest. Excuse me. And do chef's table, where you get to sit close enough that you can talk to the chef as he or she prepares your dinner. So if $250 wasn't enough for you, you can sit at the chef's table. You can go to 21 Royal, which this is in Disneyland. It's above Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a 5-hour, 7-course meal.
Wow.
But you also get valet parking, wine and cocktails are included, and a prime view of fireworks. So was it last week that we were talking about the dining options in Epcot, where you can now see the fireworks show?
Yes.
This is that on steroids.
That's true. Yeah.
And this is up to 12 guests. So that brings it down to a little over $1,000 a person. For food, drinks, valet parking, and a few of the fireworks. Something a little easier to swallow in every sense of the phrase. The Supreme Tequila Flight. This is in Epcot, the Mexico Pavilion, La Cave del Tequila. It's a tequila flight, $195. You can also get tequilas there. You don't have to get the whole flight, and they'll be cheaper. There's a cognac flight at the Hollywood Brown Derby. Staying at Hollywood Brown Derby in Hollywood Studios, there's a sparkling champagne flight for $21. And then you can also go to California Grill and get dessert wines anywhere from $11 up to $1,000 or more, I believe, depending on what you get. They also talked about rooms. There are presidential suites at a couple different resorts on Walt Disney World property. You got the Contemporary, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Beach Club, Polynesian, Boardwalk, Coronado Springs, and Grand Floridian. This is about $2,000 a night. This is like the size of a house, these presidential suites.
Yeah.
Thousands of square feet. They're big. They also look awesome. So do you want to go to Disney World and stay in the room or stay in the hotel, or do you want to go to Disney World and go to the parks? Going to the parks, I'm not sure presidential suite is what you want to do, but then if none of that is expensive enough for you, you can also rent out parts of the park, or even I think the whole park.
Yeah.
Granted, you can't do it during normal hours. You have to do it after hours. Magic Kingdom, you're looking at $180,000, I believe, to start. But it's possible if you wanted to do it. I don't know what you'd want to do, because you're probably going to be in there like from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Along with the feral cats that they released to keep mice and rats at bay.
Keep the mice at bay. Yeah.
One of my favorite places, the Atlantic Dance Hall. I believe you can rent that out as well. I'm not sure how much that is. Weddings.
Yeah, we just were assuming somewhere around 10 grand or something for an evening.
Yeah,
approximately.
I would guess 5 to 10 grand you're looking at, plus drinks or hiring a DJ or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You can also get married there. There's actually chapels where you can get married. You can get married there, or I think elsewhere, and then you can pay to have your pictures taken in front of the castle. It's generally right after sunrise before the park opens. You can do that. Then also at Epcot, the water room at the Japan Pavilion, up to 8 people, $180 per person. Kind of a private. I think you get a private chef for that, and so it's similar to Chef's Table, but bigger group, and you can kind of do more stuff with it if you need to do some sort of a presentation or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then there's all sorts of options for high ticket shopping. They do partnerships with Gucci was one that they mentioned in the video. But you can find all sorts of, especially bedazzled Mickey and Minnie ears. You're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars for some of these things.
The bedazzling just reminds me of, what is it? There's a Cinderella's Castle replica in Disney World for sale on Main Street. And it is like blinged out. It's just sparkly all over. I think it was just like it's created with some sort of precious stone or whatever. But I think the starting price at that one, it basically is like a souped up Lego set, is 30 grand.
Yeah. I mean, you can get in, and I don't know if that one's made of crystal. They're different sculptures. They're made of crystal that, one, I don't know how you pay for it. Two, I don't know how you get it home. It'd be like, I have to carry it, but I don't want somebody to bump into me and me drop it either.
Yeah. Is that $30,000 Cinderella castle? Is that one of those things where you hand to the cashier and say, yes, have all of you people deliver it back to my room and I will see it when I get home tonight? Or is that you buy the 30 grand Cinderella castle bedazzled crystal version, and then you also have to buy like the Disney concierge service to get it back to your home address? They're going to actually drive it there for you.
Yeah, no, $30,000 includes, it better include delivery. Like, okay, you were the one person in charge.
We're renting Phil to take this to our house in Saratoga.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Old Phil will take care of it.
Hopefully you didn't fly in from Alaska or something. It's like, okay, well, hope your passport's up to date.
Phil's going on a road trip.
Yeah. So that's a somewhat short summary of the video. So I'm going to pick 3 things from this list that I like.
Yeah, me too.
Chris is going to do the same. So Chris, take us through maybe the first thing that you'd say, you know what, that's actually something that I'd want to splurge and get for me or me and my family.
My first choice of splurging is it's a hard one to swallow, but it seems like it in the realm of possibility. If I can invite up to 10 guests to do the private VIP tour, that one that is somewhere between $425 to $750 an hour for a tour guide, and you have to get it for at least 7 hours. Like, that is a lot of money to swallow. And when you realize that it's not $425 to $750 for a day, that's just per hour, and you have to have them for a minimum of 7 hours, which means at its least expensive, it's about $3,000 a day.
Yeah. Plus, you have to buy park tickets and food.
Yes. Yeah. So that is a whole lot of money. But I can see that if I could divide it by 10 people, and so here's like some of these situations I'm looking at of like, okay, so me and my family of 4, almost all of these options are off the table. But maybe a really nice romantic anniversary gift for my wife and I to do some sort of dinner or something exclusively. Sounds nice. Or if I was with a bunch of other Bradley Minnigans of the world or Lou Mangellos, like adults that we all have that kind of like excited passion for Disney, I can see all of us going in to really get an exclusive trip through there, and maybe all of us chipping in to do it. Then, okay, maybe I'm spending close to $1,000 myself or something like that for the day, everything included, but everybody else is helping to bring that cost down. So I don't feel like I could do this for my family of 4. It just is too expensive. for what we would get out of it. But if I was one of 10 people dividing this, I think that that's something that I could really get behind.
Yeah.
You?
And you know, I'm going to splurge on these at some point. But it's Wild Africa Trek, behind the scenes at Epcot, backstage magic. You're looking at 29 to Wild Africa Treks gets up to 249. Backstage Magic gets to 275. This is per person. But either, if I find myself down there on a work trip and have an extra day, I may go do this by myself. But also, especially with my kids, I would love to take them on the Wild Africa Trek at some point. Just, a 3-hour tour of how the caretakers take care of the animals there at Animal Kingdom. So I'm definitely going to make sure I check at least one of those off my list at some point.
Yeah. And something like behind the scenes at Epcot, where they take you through the greenhouses of living with the land. Like, I'm almost embarrassed as a Disney fan that I haven't yet to do that, because the $30 to have that experience, I've always wanted to do it. And to know that I'm only $30 away from having that experience ticked off my bucket list, that's not that big of a deal. Not that bad. And the something like, if you and I were down there on a work trip and we had an extra day, I would love to, maybe you and I, we splurge and go do the behind the scenes $275 to go the costuming and the utilidors and all that, just to say that I've been below the surface of Magic Kingdom. That'd be really cool too. But again, I think it's context exceptions. Like, some of these things I would love to do with my family. Some of these things just aren't worth it cost wise with a family of 4.
Yeah, agreed. So what's next on your list? What's something, okay, maybe I'd do this with my family?
Yeah. Okay. Just going down to food. I feel like that, again, on an anniversary or a really nice date night or something like that, that it would be nice to say that we did the $250 a piece at Victoria and Albert's and enjoyed that. Or even the additional thing of Chef's Table, where you get to watch the chef. On the exception of my wife and I, when we go out to eat, we really like to just have conversation. And so to do something where we're watching the chef, that would take us out of one of the things we like most about going to dinner together, which is just the conversation, because we're then needing to pay attention to the chef kind of thing. So I could almost mark that one off my list and enjoy maybe some alcohol flights with her, or this Victoria and Albert. So that's my idea of, on a special vacation or a special trip that's just my wife and I, maybe one of those special date nights that we leave the kids. And again, my kids are getting to the age now, we just leave them behind at Epcot to do whatever they wanted to do. Yeah. But on a date night thing, I think we could pull something like this off at the current place that we're at. But I wouldn't want to take the kids to a dinner like this, because I just don't know if they would appreciate it. I think that they would much rather go to a buffet or some place to get a burger or a hot dog or something like that. So that being said, I would really like to do one of these food options if it's just my wife and I.
Yeah, I love that. And my wife would love to do Victoria and Albert's because she's more the foodie. To me, food is just a necessary evil.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you, she did ask me the other day, what's something you really like to taste? I was like, I don't really taste my food. I just eat it so fast that it just kind of bypasses my tongue.
Yeah.
Which we have shared many meals together. The speed at which I eat, and it's not healthy.
It's efficient though.
It's very efficient. Maybe not for my gut, but for getting. You mentioned these flights. That's good. I love, just as an alternative to some of these options, I've talked about this before, lounges. You go get some nice drinks and get some appetizers. Get a couple different appetizers. That's your meal. We have done this once or twice. I love it. Something that is not on this list, and it's not currently doing it the way that we like to enjoy it, but Cape May Cafe.
Ooh.
You go there. It was recommended to us by a friend because the way it works when there's not a global pandemic is it's buffet style and it's got seafood. My wife loves crab legs, so she'll get crab legs. I love shrimp, so I just load up on shrimp. Right now, it's family style dinners, and it's $42 per person. The crab legs are an extra $29 per pound. So you can get pretty pricey with this pretty quickly. It's not quite Victoria and Albert's level, but you can get up there. But yeah, the chef's table is pretty enticing. Getting to talk to the chef, see how your food's prepared, get it prepared, especially for you. That's awesome. So I'd also love to go to Disneyland and do this 21 Royal. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
To have that experience and get to see the fireworks with up to 11 of my friends. So
yeah.
So
see, and again, if that's 15 grand and you go with all 12 of your best friends, then you're at that point, I think, what is that, less than $1,000 per person. And again, that is a very expensive meal for one. To be anywhere around $1,000. But for that one experience, if you can make it worth it for everybody, to not have to to do that for all 4 of your family members, and that'd be outrageous. But if you're splitting it up, then it's less than $1,000 for you to go and have a very memorable night you'll never forget.
Yeah, well, it'd be just over $1,000, but not.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
and
I did the division wrong. I switched the numbers.
Yeah, all good. But yeah, you're looking at just around $1,000 a head. So we both do VIP tours. We both do something food related. Chris, what's one more thing from this list that you think?
Yeah. And I certainly have a couple of alternates of what I would do instead of some of these things. But my last thing is just like where my family has been going on vacation at Disney. We go and we try, we almost put in the budget that we're going down there with. This is all the money that we can spend because Disney trips are expensive. And so the additional add-ons have never been something that we've really availed ourselves of those services, just because we're doing our best just to make it down there on however many grand that we're spending on the 4 of us just to go buy park tickets, rooms, and that kind of stuff. But the idea of just enhancing it a little bit with taking maybe not a high-end Disney merch option, like some sort of celebrity design piece of jewelry that's also Disney done, or some sort of brand like a Gucci or something like that. I really, really like the idea of my son and I going and we make our own lightsabers.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. That for me is as high-end of a Disney trip as that just, I would feel like that I'm being very fancy by shelling out the extra $50, $100 or whatever to have my own lightsaber. It's similar with at Hollywood or Universal Studios with getting a Harry Potter wand or something like that. It's like, this is really cool. And I feel like I'm taking a piece of merchandise home versus having to spend this huge amount of money. So I feel like in the shopping experiences, I can avail myself of some high-end merch without having to break the bank, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. You thoughts?
Yeah. So I think what I would do, because you went with the shopping experience, I would probably go with a room experience, and maybe not a presidential suite, but Animal Kingdom Lodge has Safari View rooms where you can wake up in the morning and see animals outside your room.
There you go.
Which is pretty awesome. Or you get a room at the Contemporary where you can see the fireworks at night. Or similar thing over at either Yacht or Beach Club, if you can get one that's got fireworks view over at Epcot. Or something with a balcony, but something with a cool view, or get one of the villas. You can get you gotta get a little Disney house that sleeps 6 or 8 or so. So one of those room upgrades, that's what I would do. I think it'd be fun. It'd be great for the days that you're not going to the park. It's usually a good idea to build in 1 or 2 of those. And yeah, if you're down there and you're going to spend some time in the room, it may be worth the upgrade. So
yeah,
I really liked this video just to hit some of the highlights, to think about what could be. most of these things I will probably never do. Don't know that I'll ever get a presidential suite. Don't know that I will ever rent out the Magic Kingdom for $180,000. Heck, I may never get the private VIP tour. But some of these other things I can do, and I likely will do, and I'm looking forward to those. So now let's jump into this week's plussing. So this week, we've mentioned this before. We've mentioned travel guides, travel agents. I talk to one and say, hey, what are some add-ons? What are some of these things? Because this isn't a definitive list of all the add-ons you can do. But you can say, hey, I want to do something special. They're used to thinking about these things. They'll talk it through, do you want a food experience? Do you want a room experience? Do you want some, a different type of experience like a tour? They'll be able to help you figure it out. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You can go on one of these bass fishing experiences. Maybe you and your dad or you and your son want to go bass fishing on the lake. It'll be a blast. Rent a boat, rent a fishing guide for a couple hours, half a day, whatever you want to do. It'll be a blast. But talk to a travel agent because they know a lot of these things, Chris, better than you or I do.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of options when it comes to things that I've experienced down at Disney or Disneyland and that I want to do again and that I would love to share with other people. It's one of the reasons why you and I started this show. But travel agents they're in it every day. Yeah. And they hear when these sales come on and then they go off and then they know all of these excursions and different experiences. And so I feel like that a high-end experience for my family and I is when we finally leaned on a travel agent instead of trying to do it all ourselves, because she was able to save us quite a bit of money. She was able to upgrade our room. She was able to get us the right park hopper tickets that we wanted to. And so I think that for me and my dollar, especially because travel agents make their money not off of who they book a flight for, but they will get it back from Disney in some way or however they make money, that there's no additional cost to use a travel agent. There's just those additional benefits of using their knowledge. And I think that, again, if we're talking about how the rich do Disney, when we finally used a travel agent, that was when things really stepped up for us. And so I completely agree that a travel agent is the way that most of us can up level our experience at Disney without paying an extra dime.
That's the thing. You feel like you've got your own travel butler, preparing things before you go, or if things go awry when you're there. If you've got the right travel agent, and there are plenty out there, you can call them and they will jump on it and try to get it rectified while you're in the parks doing whatever you want to be doing. So
that's an extra special piece of mind. Like they will help if something goes wrong. That's invaluable.
I love it. So whatever you do, next time you go to Disney, use a travel agent. You can find them online. If you want recommendations from us, you can just email us at podcast@themouseandmen.com. But it's fun to think about what we do if money were no object. But as I do every week, I want to encourage you. You don't want to grow up too fast.
But whether you're trying to save money or you got a lot of it and you're trying to burn, go do it. You got to keep exploring.